Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass Beer Review. And we are going plain. This is the most plain beer you can get. Porter. Hey, do you have one of those porters, Nick?
I'll have the porter, please.
This is
And they don't even ask you any more questions. They just bring you this.
This is porter with a. It's like just give us the brown logo. Can you gradiate it a little bit, but not too much.
Robust porter.
This is the Afro Beer Chick's like most hated thing right here.
You know, she's not a big fan of porters. But stouts began as porters.
They don't like grow up and become. It's not like, kids.
You hang in there, you keep.
You go to school and work hard. You too could be a stout.
But Guinness will tell you, which is weird because Guinness is a stout, but it's 4.5%, which is kind of weird.
It's a porter that graduated but didn't go far.
So that's like the outlier. This is a porter, and this is 5.5%. So this makes sense as a porter.
Okay.
But I think the name porter, right, is like it's an English beer, and it was I think what was it like the folks there? It was a job title, like the porters. This is something that the porters drank, so they named it porter. And then the stout,
like the people that work the ports,
or the people that worked in whatever porters do. You got me with that one.
You had it.
I had it, and then I lost it. But I would have. I want to say you work at a port, or you work because a kitchen doesn't make sense. So we'll go with the port. I like that.
Or like a potter? Are you thinking of potter? No. You make pots?
No. God damn it, Brad. No. But the stout is a stouter version of a porter. I remember that part. The name porter now it kind of escapes me because now that we're saying it out loud, a porter as a job title doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But a stout is supposed to be a bigger version of a porter. That's how it started.
Sure.
So, yeah, 5.6%. Chocolate malt.
Mm-hmm. And we just did another beer review, which should be on the YouTube, with the Doppelbock. So these are both malt-forward beers. So it's kind of interesting. And we did the brown ale, years ago now.
Yeah.
And so now just porter. Like, that's, I guess, Bell's thing, like brown ale, porter, ale, pale, orange.
That's coming next, right? They're gonna what's that beer they come out with? Their wheat ale.
Yeah.
O'Brien.
They're just gonna change it to orange beer. Orange beer. We now have seltzer beer.
When you look across the landscape, man, there ain't a whole lot of, which is weird because this is like a beloved style worldwide, but there ain't a lot of local examples of this beer, which is kind of weird to say, but
Porters,
then also true.
Porters or just
non-barrel aged porters in Chicago.
That's because it's boring as shit. Like, I just had it, and I was like, there aren't really words to describe the nothingness I had.
It's easy.
Maybe
it's
like
malty,
a little bit of like hazelnuttiness to it.
Yeah, a little chocolate, a little coffee, and then you're done.
But like,
a little roast, not much.
Yeah.
But just enough to not have it be just like a chocolate milk. So then you're done.
Not enough to be chocolate milk.
Roasty, chocolatey,
Not
nutty. You're
not
out.
bitter enough to be coffee.
Not hoppy enough to be a dark, like a dark hoppy beer.
Yeah, it's close enough to like at the end of the day when there's still coffee left from like the French press or whatever, I'll throw some ice in and be like, oh, okay. And now it's watered down coffee, and I'll be like, that's kind of end of day.
What's up, porter, man?
Finish off this coffee. This is kind of in that realm where it's like, cool. It's something to drink.
A porter is a carrier, someone who literally carries objects.
Okay.
Yeah. So that could be a restaurant. That could be from a boat to a building. That could be a train.
A courier.
Yeah. It's like another word name for a courier. So it was them boys. Okay. So now we're bringing it all back.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is what?
This is
the
where
people that carried shit.
this is what they drink.
What a horrible job. Like, I guess a courier sounds like
A
I don't know.
porter. Yeah.
Is courier like a French word? Probably a French word. It
Brad.
sounds more fancy than like, yo,
You're a porter.
yo, call up that porter to bring this over here. Like, what?
You get a couple in Brad, and Brad will go down the rabbit hole so fast. You look up, and you just got to hang on for dear life. Like, I don't know where Brad's going to go with this, man. But
So this is what porters drank?
it's an English style beer that the porters drank, and they just started calling it porter. 5% chocolate malt, brown ale. I think it's like it's got some characteristics different from a brown ale, I'm guessing, right? And probably more balanced than a brown ale, right? Brown ale maybe more hoppy, something like that.
Yeah, it could be a little
some
more
slight
hoppy.
differences.
Yeah, I think there's a little more malt, a little thicker or viscosious.
Yeah, the body could be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either hop or malt ratio is a little different from a brown ale, but same general idea as brown ale. Yeah, just a little heavier.
I feel like I'd rather have the brown ale from Bell's over the porter.
I will say that, also that, but then,
Best brown.
yeah, whether it's the Doppelbock from New Glarus or the porter from, Bell's, I think they have a place at a dinner table that something like a hazy would not.
Sure.
And I think I dig probably that more than anything about them. It's like, you can extend your drinking night, but then you can also have some food and it doesn't get in the way of that. They're good for that.
Yeah, but if you saw this, you're at the table. We're at the table now. We have this brown ale, Doppelbock, a couple barrel-aged beers, a small hoppy beer. I feel like you're just looking at the porter and being like, who brought that? Like, what?
Only time I see these is when my man Loose Keys goes to the garage outside at -5.
I don't know how I got this. Somebody brought this to my house. And here we are.
But once you crack them open, I'm like, okay, I get why it was made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
It's not.
God.
It's not bad. It has its place. But you're not excited to drink it. I'd rather drink the Doppelbock.
It's harder to sell, like, as just a straight up marketing,
Yeah.
right? You look at IG. We get all our news from IG and FB. We get all our news from socials.
Yeah.
If somebody says, hey, fresh off we're bottling this porter today, no one's going to blink an eye. And I think that's part of the issue with them, right? Like, how the fuck do you sell a porter? How the fuck do you sell these things?
Right.
Doppelbock, brown ale. There's no way you're selling a brown ale.
Yeah, Bell's, you're gotta. I don't know. You gotta come up with some exciting beers,
But they're leaning into we talked about Bavarian Lodge and Lyle earlier. They're leaning into that crowd, right? They're leaning into the
That crowd doesn't want. I know, my aunt, she loves Bavarian Lodge.
Lunar Brew Company. That's the crew that's supporting this stuff, right?
She wants the pancake white chocolate milk stout. She doesn't want this boring porter.
Man.
Or they want the nice wine.
Now that I agree with.
Like what?
Like at the dinner.
I feel like that's the problem with the porter. Like, why wouldn't I'd rather have a wine than the porter.
Yeah.
The porter feels heavy. I feel like I can't eat as much. At least the wine, it washes away and adds to what I'm eating. The porter's ugh.
The wine is, in most cases, is just as complimentary if you're having it with food. And then it's the juice is worth the squeeze, as they say, with the wine.
I feel like I'm getting nonchalant. Fuck these porters.
The way she feels about porters is the way I feel about gravy, right?
They're the same.
I'm just like, I don't need gravy. I don't, wherever, if you have to, put it on the side.
Biscuits and gravy, though?
No, if you have to put it on the table, do not put it on my thing. Just let me deal with the gravy as I want.
Okay.
Don't put gravy on my plate.
All right.
So I kind of get it, right? You just kind of feel like there's no fit for it in your life. So I totally get how people would feel that way.
Yeah.
But I see the other side too, though. And you know what? I like the taste. I will say that.
I like the taste. But I don't want I don't want a lot of them.
No, we're good. We're good on the one
Or like,
porter.
I think it says the shelf life is 6 months. A 6-pack might last 6 months. Maybe one a month.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Another value add too, right?
Sure.
The hazy's out of there after 8 weeks.
Right, and I bet this 6-pack of this is $10, maybe 12 now.
Yeah. Drinkability, price point, shelf life. You know, not to mention, you know, it's one of the first widely produced beers ever. You know,
Yeah.
so.
All right, but definitely check out Bell's. They make the fact that they just make a porter. Kudos to them. Like they're like, no one likes these. We're gonna make it.
You know, the nerve. Yeah.
Like, okay. Cool. All right. Take care.
Cheers.